Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you're a Browns fan or just someone who's been paying close attention to the AFC North, you know that this offseason has been anything but boring. Cleveland, as many of you know, is in a bit of a transitional phase. They've been tweaking, shifting, trying to find that perfect recipe to get back into serious Super Bowl contention. And right now, what's happening behind the scenes suggests that they're not done making moves. In fact, it looks like they're gearing up for a significant shakeup, especially along their defensive line. Recently, we saw the Browns part ways with Joe Flacco, a veteran quarterback who had been providing leadership and experience for the team. But that's not all. They also traded away Greg Newsome, a key piece in their secondary, which shows that Cleveland is actively reevaluating and reshaping their roster. Now, the latest buzz is that they might be looking to move on from another veteran player, Shelby Harris, a defensive lineman with 11 years of NFL experience. And this isn't just a minor move. It could be a sign of a broader strategy to retool the defense and perhaps open up cap space or draft opportunities for future assets. According to multiple reports, the Browns are listening to offers for Harris. They're aware that he's entering the twilight of his career at age 34, and they're probably looking for a good trade to bolster their future plans. Harris, a former Illinois standout, was drafted in the 7th round of the 2014 NFL Draft, which is quite impressive considering how long he's been able to stay relevant in this league. Over the past 2 seasons with Cleveland, he's been a rotational force on the defensive line, contributing with 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and more than 60 tackles. That's no small feat. Despite being a veteran, Harris still has some gas in the tank, and teams that need help along the trenches will definitely be interested. It's worth noting that the Browns don't seem to be demanding top dollar for Harris. They're probably more interested in getting a decent return, maybe a mid-round pick or a late-round selection, and moving on quickly. They understand that they're not competing at the highest level right now, and making smart trades could be part of a long-term plan to rebuild and retool for future seasons. But the big question remains, where will Harris end up? Which team will benefit from his veteran presence and pass-rushing ability? One potential landing spot that has been floated around is the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Dallas is a team that's always looking to improve their front line, especially after some recent struggles. They have talent, but they also need that extra push to get over the hump. Harris, even at this stage of his career, could be a valuable addition for them, especially as a situational pass rusher. The Cowboys aren't likely to trade their precious first-round picks for him, but perhaps they could send a late-round pick in exchange. That could be exactly what they need to add some depth and experience to their defensive line, especially given the recent upset loss against the Carolina Panthers. That game was a wake-up call for Dallas, showing that their offense can be prolific. Dak Prescott threw 5 touchdown passes, no doubt, but the defense struggled to contain the Panthers' offense. It's clear that if they want to make a real playoff run, they need to bolster that line. Harris could be a stopgap solution, a guy who can come in and provide pressure, especially in critical moments. You see, Harris's experience and pass-rushing ability could complement their young players like Osa Odighizuwa, offering a veteran presence that can be relied upon in crunch time. And then, there's the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the 49ers are known for their dominant defense, but even they recognize that the pass rush could use a boost, especially with Nick Bosa likely out for the season. That's a big blow, no doubt, but it creates an opportunity for someone like Harris. General Manager John Lynch is not one to sit idly by. He's always looking for ways to strengthen the roster without blowing up the salary cap. Harris could be a low-stakes addition, a guy who can come in and provide valuable situational pressure, especially in the postseason. He's not meant to replace Bosa, obviously, but he can fill in gaps and give the defense some additional firepower in key moments. Now, let's not forget about the Detroit Lions. They've been having an impressive season on offense, even coming off a tough loss against the Chiefs. Jared Goff has been on fire, leading a potent attack that's been a nightmare for opposing defenses. But the Lions' defense, despite its talent, has been hampered by injuries and lack of depth. Zach Cunningham, Malcolm Rodriguez, and Marcus Davenport have all been nursing injuries, and the secondary has been a work in progress. The Lions need to find ways to shore up that defensive line, especially to pair with DJ Reader. Harris could be a strategic addition, someone who can be a reliable rotational piece, someone who can step up in big moments, especially during the postseason push. What makes all of this so intriguing is that Cleveland is clearly not just sitting back and waiting. They're actively exploring options, and Harris's potential trade indicates they're thinking ahead. The Browns have been rebuilding for a couple of seasons now, trying to find the right mix of young talent and veteran leadership. They've got a solid core, but they also recognize that to compete with the top teams in the AFC, think Kansas City, Buffalo, or Cincinnati, they need that extra edge, especially along their defensive front. Harris, with his experience and pass rushing skills, could be that piece that makes the difference in critical games. And it's not just about this season. The Browns have been building for the future, investing in their draft capital and trying to put together a roster that can sustain success over multiple years. Moving Harris now, while they still can get something valuable in return, might be part of a broader strategy to free up cap space, acquire draft picks, or even make room for younger players to develop. Cleveland's front office has been methodical in their approach, and this move, if it happens, would be yet another step in their long-term plan. Now fans, I want to emphasize that watching how this unfolds will be fascinating. Will Harris land in Dallas, helping them tighten up that front line? Or could the 49ers swoop in, adding a veteran presence for the postseason? Or maybe another team will come into the picture, seeing the value in a seasoned player who can still produce in situational roles. Whatever the outcome, one thing is clear: Cleveland is not done yet. They're actively reshaping their roster, and Harris's potential trade is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. This kind of roster management, especially in the NFL, is always about timing. Cleveland knows they're in a rebuilding phase, but they also want to stay competitive, keep their options open, and position themselves for future success. Harris's experience, especially with 11 years in the league, makes him a commodity that many teams could find valuable. It's all about the right fit and the right timing. And with the trade market heating up, fans should stay tuned because the next few weeks could bring some surprises. Big surprises that might reshape the AFC North and set Cleveland up for a brighter future. Remember, the Browns are not just about patching things up. They're about building a team that can contend year after year. And moves like these, whether it's trading a veteran like Harris or making strategic draft picks, show that they're serious about that goal. The division is fierce, with Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh always lurking, but Cleveland's front office is clearly trying to position themselves as a team that's not just competitive, but a genuine contender once again. So, Browns fans, keep your eyes peeled. This offseason has been filled with surprises, and the best is yet to come. Whether Harris stays or moves on, one thing is certain: Cleveland is actively shaping its future, and the next chapter could be one of their most exciting yet. Let's see how this all unfolds. Who knows, maybe we'll be talking about Harris as a key piece in a playoff run very soon. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive, and remember, I'll be back with even more updates, analysis, and news about your Cleveland Browns. Stay passionate, stay loud, and as always, go Browns. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news.